Okay, we are back and in open session. Sheriff, would you want to speak some more to policy?
I guess at this time, I just want everyone to understand that, we were appointed and elected to do a job. Just give us the authority to make decisions for our office, the best that you can. I understand not every decision can be made by every department head in every situation. I completely understand that. I understand there's legalities, and I'm not a lawyer. I'm just saying, for my own self personally in my office, I want the ability to make decisions for my office that I think are in the best interest of the sheriff's office going forward. That's all that I'm saying, and that was my position for wanting to have this discussion.
I can tell you I'm going to say to round it up, 50 years in business, I know from experience that the more empowered an employee is, the better they like their job, the better they do their job, and the better opportunity to be creative. And I think to be creative is important. Now, having said that, that automatically bumps up against policy, legality, and things of this nature. But there is a happy medium. There always is a happy medium where people that were hired and put in positions of respect, responsibility, and intelligence are left alone to do their job with a certain amount of supervision. But once again, I'm not a fan of micromanagement, and I know that there has to be guardrails. But if we can push up against those guardrails, I think that the people that were hired to do important jobs here in the county will do a better job. That's what I think. That's just me. And I'm not speaking for the committee, I'm just speaking for me, and I'm happy to entertain.
I can add that the policies and procedures are yours to decide. You pass resolutions,
Correct.
and then I, as your administrator, you've charged with carrying out those policies and procedures.
But,
And when you don't like them, you are free to change
No,
them within the
absolutely.
confines of the law.
Here's the thing, though, that happens to us in once again, in my opinion, on the board, and that is that we are busy doing what we're doing, and we don't realize when things become out of date, when things are not working as well as they should. We don't have that kind of finger on the pulse. So it's very important that the county administrator, department heads, and others bring that to the forefront when there's a problem. Or maybe I shouldn't say a problem, when there's an opportunity for improvement. So things change, they change all the time. Rules and policies that were made for a reason. Things change over time, and they need to continue to be reevaluated. So, and I thank anybody who brings that forward. Mrs. Root, and then Mr. Barnes.
Did we not, a couple years ago, put together a committee or to look at the board bylaws and policies, and did whatever happened with that? I know our chairman was interested in doing that. Did we not?
I think that group is still reviewing the bylaws and trying to come up with amendments to them.
Are they?
I believe so.
Who is that?
Yeah, who is that
I
group?
think I'm on that, Allison is, Brenda, Brooke, a couple other people taking notes, but I think that was a very informal group. I think maybe perhaps you want other legislator involvement in things, but it's not just your bylaws.
No.
You have a number of policies just set by resolutions. They're very difficult for me to track down and figure out what they are. They're even worse for department heads to find. You may have good reasons for having them, or maybe they're outdated, but that's what we're stuck with at the moment.
Well, maybe that group needs to be charged with a piece at a time. I know if you look at the whole thing, it becomes too big. So maybe if you just take one section at a time and put a group together to look at it and come back with recommendations. And if we give them a charge to do that, maybe every 2 months you come back with one policy you looked at, and whatever recommendations. Other than that, it gets lost and nobody has time to do it. I know it's a huge job, but I do agree, you need to look at them every once in a while.
Yeah, I think that maybe the committee should be looking at them. And I know everybody's got a huge workload, okay? But I think that the committee that's charged with that should be doing exactly what Legislator Root just said and biting off a piece at a time, but not stopping. You know, you bite off this piece, you fix it, you keep going. It's an ongoing process, quite honestly. And that's not because it's anybody's fault, it's just how things are. Things change all the time, constantly, and if we don't keep up, we fall behind. Mr. Barnes, I think you have a question, sir.
Yes. Resolutions, I wouldn't be but surprised we got resolutions from, that are 100 years old in this county government. But has there ever been thought that when we make a resolution that there's be a time limit on it, that it has to come back for review, or it expires?
Probably depends on what type of resolution. I mean, you pass resolutions on all sorts of things. I would just say if you're passing a resolution on a policy, probably best practice would say you review as a board your policies every year or whatever time frame you put on there to see if they're still relevant or not. I think that's usually a best practice for a new policy.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Hang on just one second. We're going to do Mrs. Hanchett first, and then we'll go to Mr. Demick, then we'll go to Mr. Healy.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Sheriff. You know, when I look at some of these outdated policies and resolutions, I think sometimes the best person to reach out to first is kind of survey maybe our department heads on what is slowing things down. That way we're not starting, for say, in a book and kind of thumbing through it. We hit the ones that are priorities in the beginning. And granted, maybe it's not one that we can change or update, but it also gives us a little bit of insight on how we can help people do their jobs better. So that would be a recommendation that I would have.
Okay. Mr. Demick.
I agree 100% that we need to look at this in a big way. And I'm not poking at anybody. We have some really, really good department heads with a lot of professionalism, know what they're doing, and we're not utilizing them in the way we should be. I think we'd be doing a favor to our county administrator if we took some of the weight off her shoulders and laid this out in a different way to delegate a little bit more to some of these other people. And maybe some of these projects would move forward a little faster. But, you know, I mean, she certainly should be involved with everything that goes on in some kind of way. But we got a lot of stuff on our plate. And like I said, we got a lot of very good people that can help this move along. So that's just my thought on it.
Okay. Mr. Healy.
I want to thank the sheriff for bringing this up, and especially the public safety matter that we went into executive session over briefly. And but this isn't really the purview, this committee, this matter as far as policy goes. The public safety issue obviously was, but as far as overall policy, I don't believe that's the purview of this committee. So maybe we better just move along from now, and we'll take a look at how to address this best collectively. Thank you.
I think you're right. We're a little far out in the weeds. We did start out with a public safety issue, and we've gone a little adrift here. This is incredibly important. It needs to be addressed, perhaps not further in the Public Safety Committee, though. Thank you, Sheriff, for bringing this
Thank you.
forward.
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else for the sheriff? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Any unfinished business? Any new business?
Yes, Chairman. I would like to bring to light a request from our local fire department here in Belmont. They're in need to build a new building. I would like to ask this legislature to support a resolution in their support of trying to establish funding, and like to move that forward in whatever way we need to do that. From the back table, we lost our county administrator. Allison, is that something we can put together for a future regular board meeting? If I get you the info?
Yes, I can draft a resolution for your,
Okay, just so we can send it out to our our representatives, that we support what they need. They take care of response to our buildings and so
Yes.
on. It's very important.
if you provide me the information,
Yep.
I can put that together for this committee to this committee decides to sponsor it, yes, I can do so.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, are you making the resolution that,
I can make is it all right to go ahead and make a resolution that we do that?
You can make a motion to,
Make a motion
the
to?
public?
Yes.
That's right, sorry.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Demick.
Okay,
I'll gladly second you, Mr. Demick.
okay.
Great idea. Thank you, sir.
Moved and second. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay. We'll get the information to you so that we can move forward with the
yes.
recommendation. to support them.
Legislator Demick, just make sure that you get that information to me in time for the September 25th board meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Any other new business? Good of the order. Motion to adjourn.
Sir will make that motion.
Thank you. In a second? Okay, thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all. Good meeting.